just as, the trainer starts taping my ankles, someone comes in and is like, Snoop Dogg's in the locker room right now. And I'm mid ankle tape. And like, I can't stop this right now. And I'm telling the trainer, like, let's hurry this up. Like I'm trying to, go see what Snoop Dogg has to say in the locker room. So trainer's doing the best he can. A couple minutes go by. I go back in the locker room, and as soon as I walk in, the only thing I can see of Snoop is him heading for the exit and leaving.
Welcome back to True Gem TV, where we highlight athletes from the Dayton area. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. He was first team All Conference at Wayne. Last year, he was academic All MAC, played in every game. Former Wayne linebacker and now current Miami of Ohio linebacker. We have Adam Trick.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for taking some time out of your day and coming on here to the show. First off, how's the off season going? I know you said you can kind of just focus on football, and that's nice. We obviously we can tell you're a very good student. But how's that going?
Yeah, it's been a great off season. Coming off of a pretty good year last year as a team, had a good year myself, and kind of the focus for me this off season was just being, how can I take my game to the next level? And I think I've been pouring a lot of time and energy into doing that. Like I said, this summer, don't got classes, so all day, every day has been football. It's been really nice to get to work on a lot of things I need to work on, and just been getting after in the weight room, trying to get bigger, faster, stronger for this upcoming season. Like I said, hopefully have another great year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year was a breakout year for you. Playing all the games. Getting to really get your feet wet in the MAC, and you guys had a really good team last year. Before we get into it, because I want to ask you some stuff about last season and what you're looking forward to next season. I want to touch on your time at Wayne. What was it like to play for a high school like Wayne, a football powerhouse, a school that really, I mean, not just football. Obviously, they're really good at all sports, but what was your time like at Wayne and getting to play for a school like that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my high school experience at Wayne. Obviously, there's a lot of talented athletes there, and that was a great thing for me to, be around other gifted people and hardworking people that are, went on to play collegiate sports as well. So being around those type of people every day, like, really pushed me and motivated me to be the best player I could be. And like you said, a lot of success at Wayne, and it was great to play for a program where there's a culture and a standard of winning, where that's, you're expected to make a run in the playoffs every single year. And if you don't, that's, not a great season for Wayne's terms. So being a part of a team and a culture like that was awesome. And like I said, just being around, very talented athletes, not, like you said, not just in football, but, basketball, great track program as well. So that was great for me.
Yeah, definitely, man. I want to ask you because correct me if I'm wrong, but Miami and Wayne, I kind of can see some similarities. Like, obviously, you have the cradle of coaches. I mean, do you see a lot of similarities between those two programs that really just are all in on their sports?
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's a lot of similarities, like I said, with that culture and kind of that expectation to perform well. Here at Miami, like you said, we have the cradle of coaches, and the past few years, like, the standard here is we're competing to win the MAC championship every year, and if we fall short of that, then in our eyes, like, the mission wasn't accomplished. Same at Wayne, like, we were looking to win the G Walk every year, make a deep run for a state championship. So there's definitely those similarities, and in terms of, like, the cultures of the teams, like, guys are showing up every day, ready to work and try to achieve those goals, and live up to those standards, and kind of, the history of the two programs.
Yeah. Well, and I'll get into it a little bit here of last year, your year at Miami, like we said, got a lot of time. You got yourself 4.5 sacks. You even made a few starts, playing behind. I know you guys had older guys at your position. So what do you look to take from last season and, ride that wave into this coming season here?
Yeah, like you said, I kind of had to wait my turn. There was a lot of guys that had extra year of eligibility because of COVID. So guys at my positions were in their fifth, sixth seasons. So it was kind of learning curve to be patient on my end. I was, putting the work in every single day and felt like I was, a talented young player. And there's, guys that have served their time here and were great players that just happened to be behind on the depth chart. But I still went into last season. I was like, I'm going to find a way to get on the field, like whatever that might be. And going into the season, made the switch from linebacker, to defensive end, edge rusher. Just coaches said there's probably a better opportunity for me to play. Rotate more guys on the defensive line than you do at linebacker. So I was like, absolutely, I'll do it. And kind of going into fall camp of last season, I was running with the twos a lot, and kind of halfway through camp was making a lot of plays and kind of found my role on the third down defense, rushing inside and kind of being that rotational dude. And I was like, whatever role I have, I'm gonna do my best and try and go out there and do my job and make plays. And kind of as the season rolled on, I started feeling a lot more comfortable, especially like once we got into conference play. Started getting the sacks and started seeing some production. So with that year under my belt, like I feel really confident going into this year. I kind of dip my toes in the water. I know what it's like to, play Division I college football now. I know what it's like, the work that you got to put in to be great. And just looking to take my game from being that rotational guy to like this year is, I'm the guy now. So I have that experience under my belt and I'm going to use it, the lessons I learned last season, and just use it to my advantage this year and, have a big year.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And I want to touch on something you kind of said there with, now you know what it's like, playing
Mhm.
Division I football. You guys played some very big schools last year. I mean, obviously Notre Dame, that's a, second best team last year, making it to the national championship. I mean, like, is that like a good learning experience for you being able to go against those teams? And, even if you guys don't have success in the win column against those teams, like, is it you guys take something from those games because it's just like, hey, we know what worked against a team like this, or maybe what didn't work, and now you can kind of use that against MAC teams and other teams you play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every year we will start out with, last year we started out, three straight Power Four teams, two of those being on the road, Northwestern, we had UC at home, then Notre Dame. So come off the bat, a lot of schools, they'll schedule, an FCS team at home or another group of five team, one of those games, to just kind of like get the ball rolling. And, we don't do that in Miami. Like you said, that goes back to kind of the standard we have for our program. Like we're looking to play those top teams off the bat. And for us, it's, it's always a challenge, but, it's one that helps us later in the year. And I think that's why we've had great success the last couple of years, is because, we go against these teams and we see high level players right off the bat. And once, we get to these MAC teams later in our schedule, we've kind of figured out, our identity, who we are, especially on defense. And everything just kind of like gels, once we reach conference play, having to play those, Power Four schools off the bat.
Yeah. And you guys have another one this year. Is it Big Ten? Is it Wisconsin, if I remember right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wisconsin and Rutgers to start the year.
Yeah, so that's gonna be, and I'm assuming those are both, on the road.
The road, yep.
Yeah, so, you get a juiced up Big Ten team, first game, or, their maybe their first home game.
Mhm.
I mean, do you guys look forward to those games, though, trying to come in there and spoil and just, put your guys' self on the map, like, right off the bat?
Oh yeah, I mean this year we're opening up Thursday night game, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. prime time, Wisconsin. That place will be a sellout. I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, I mean every year like we're going in there competing and we expect to win those games. Like we're not going in there and thinking like, oh, we're gonna play good, whatever happens, happens. Like, no, the standard is like all off season, like we're working to go into a Big Ten team's, home stadium, and like you said, play that spoiler and kind of like put our name on the map and show like, we're a legit team, and like, we're coming to play no matter who we're playing.
Yeah. And so I want to touch on something kind of going back to the previous question. You were sitting behind these guys that, like you said, fifth and sixth year with the COVID and everything. I mean, were you ever tempted to, especially as widely used as it is nowadays, were you ever tempted to go into the portal, and just find a place where you'd be able to play right then, or obviously the patience has paid off for you, but I mean, was that a temptation for you?
No, that thought never crossed my mind. I knew this is a great place, and I knew what I had here was good, even though that I wasn't on the field producing as early as I was hoping. I still knew that if I stuck it out and I had this patience and I kept working, that like one day, like I'm going to be like one of these guys, one of these older dudes, and I'm really happy that I've done that, and I have this opportunity now, and like I said, I love it here, and ever since I committed here, I knew that this is where I wanted to be, so that thought never really crossed my mind.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And I think there's probably a lot of players that probably wish they would do the same thing because you see so many guys are just so quick to jump into the portal, and you can't blame some guys. I kind of talked about this the last episode, but it's it pays off though, and it's paid off for you. Um, so kind of still touching on the portal, you guys have made a lot of portal acquisitions, this year. Have you got to, meet some of those guys yet, hang out with them? I mean, how's the chemistry of the team? Because you got a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely, yeah. We brought in a lot of guys. We're turning really only like one starter on offense, so we had a lot of production to replace. So we went pretty hard in the portal, the winter cycle, and yeah, it's definitely been different. Like college football is not what it used to be. I mean, you used to come in with the 20 guys in your class, and 4 years later, pretty much all of them would still be there. And now year after year, I mean, the team's so different, and had a lot of new faces come in this spring, and me and some of the other older guys were good with let's bring them in here and show them how we work around here. Get to know them, make sure they feel like they belong and are a part of it all. And I'm excited. I mean, we brought in a lot of talent and a lot of guys that played at other competitive programs, winning programs. So we kind of look for those type of guys to bring in here, and obviously, like the head of that's our quarterback, DeQuan Finn from Toledo, and then spent some time at Baylor. He's a incredible player, and we got some other dynamic playmakers and some guys on defense that we'll plug in. So we got a bunch of good talent for this upcoming year.
Yeah, and I think that they probably are going to mesh really well because, like you said, quarterback from Baylor, that's a football school. I mean,
Mhm.
they've had success in basketball, but I think of it more as a football school. And Colson, wide receiver coming from Notre Dame, like
Mhm.
it just seems like that fits a lot of what you guys want to do.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we brought in a couple guys from Indiana. Indiana had success last year. Other big time programs, Power Four guys. So yeah, we're always looking to bring in dudes who want to compete and kind of fit what we're doing here, and that's why we have had some success the past few years. But it's
Yeah.
definitely unique and different. I mean, you're getting 15 to 20 new teammates every year, on top of the freshmen coming in. So every year, looks kind of more and more different. But the one thing that really never changes is kind of what we're trying to accomplish here, and how we do it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it now you're seeing in college football or college sports in general is the coaches really seem to make it all work. Like you can tell which coaches are good at what they do nowadays because they got to put all these moving parts together. Um, So I'll switch gears a little bit here with you. We'll do a couple fun topics here. So, obviously you come off the edge, you like getting to the quarterback. So I'm going to give you like five edge rushers, and then you'll just do blindly rank. I'm sure you've seen this before.
Yep.
So, all right. So the first one I will give you is we are going to go with Nick Bosa.
Ooh, Nick Bosa. I'll put Bosa at start kind of conservative. I'll put him at 3.
Okay. All right. Bosa at
Yeah.
3. All right. Probably a good choice because number 2 we got here is going to be Max Crosby.
Oh, see, I like Max Crosby a lot because he's a fellow Mac guy, and I feel like
He's
our
from Michigan,
plays,
right?
yeah, Eastern Michigan. I feel like our play style is pretty similar too, so I've always liked Crosby. But I feel like he might give me like a TJ Watt or something. Put Crosby at 2.
Okay. Crosby at 2. The third one here we got is Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, he's in the news right now, but he had a great year
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, Hendrickson's really good too. I'll put him at 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So next we have Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter. Daniil Hunter's a really underrated guy. I feel like he doesn't get enough love, but I feel like you're saving me a big name here. So I'm gonna put Hunter at 5.
Okay. And I think you're right because lastly we have Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett at 1 for sure.
As a Steelers fan, I was going to leave off TJ Watt just so he wouldn't get, disrespected on accident. So I was like, let's put in
There
Myles
you go.
Garrett just in case.
Yeah,
But no, I think I think everybody's going to agree that list I think it's perfect. I think you nailed it. So kind of on that same thing, and I hate to put you on the spot here, but obviously you have aspirations of making it to the NFL. What are 3 quarterbacks in the NFL that you would love to sack?
ooh, 3 quarterbacks. Mahomes for sure. Gotta get. He's probably consensus number 1 quarterback by far in the league. So gotta throw him on there. Um, I'd probably throw Lamar on there too, just because of how hard it is to do it. I mean, you don't see guys getting sacks on Lamar too often. I think he'd be a fun guy to try and chase down, get a sack on. And 3, I don't know. Number 3 might go a guy like Jalen Hurts maybe.
Ooh, okay.
He's another dude. He's a big, strong guy, can run around a lot. I think he'd be a good guy to get a sack on for sure.
I like it. You took the challenges because even
Yep.
Mahomes, we've seen what he does, and he's
Yeah.
running around there for what seems like 30 seconds. So I like
Mhm.
that. You didn't take the statue guys. We'll say. Um, so kind of on that same thing, I wanted to ask you, especially because you've made this transition from being a linebacker to now kind of coming off the edge more. Is there like any players, whether it's other college players or NFL players that you really focus on now and try to model your game after?
Mhm. I mean, like I said, I love watching Max Crosby. I mean, he's your true edge guy, but I see like some similarities in mine and his game. And then another dude that I've done like watched some of his tape and did a last summer. I did a little like offseason study on was Jalen Phillips he's kind of outside linebacker DN for the Dolphins.
Mhm.
And he's one of those guys that kind of does it all too. He'll line up outside linebacker, DN, rush the passer. He'll drop into coverage sometimes. He'll be man on the running back. He's one of those dudes that can kind of do it all. So I'd say those 2 are kind of the 2 that I've had my eye on the most.
Well, that's funny. I was very close to putting Jalen Phillips on your blind ranking, but I decided to do Daniil Hunter at the last second. So that would have been interesting if I would have got 2 of your
Yeah,
guys.
shoot. I mean, I like him a lot. I probably would have had to put him more so to the top.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
for sure. There is something I wanted to ask you that I kind of forgot. So I know you played a little bit of special teams also. It's kind of going back to what you said of just, hey, get on the field, do what you can do. I mean, do you enjoy playing special teams? Is there a part of that you enjoy? Or is it a thing that you're going to do and you're going to do your best just to show to the coaches? But is there something you enjoy with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, my second year here, the year we won the league, we had was really proud to be a part of the unit that year. We ended up finishing with the number one special teams unit in the country.
Oh, wow.
And that year, that was the only times I really got in the game, unless it was a blowout. I was playing special teams, and I was on all four units, which not a lot of guys get to play on. Kickoff return, punt return. So being an all four unit guy, on the number one special teams unit in the country that year, that was something that I took a lot of pride in, because that was really the only time I got on the field that year. So that was something that I was gonna do my best at. And then kind of last year too, I was on the punt unit and got thrown in on kickoff here and there. So yeah, I love special teams, and like that's a unique part of the game that not a lot of people really take too much notice in, other than guys playing the game. They understand like how important it is, and how much each guy's role and that means to the team. So yeah, it was one of those things that, like you said, at first it was kind of, this is how I get on the field, but once I was out there and doing it, I kind of learned to appreciate it and enjoyed. It's another way to make some plays, especially like running down on kickoff and whatnot. So
Oh, yeah, no, I would imagine that'd be fun. I mean, me as really never playing football before, that terrifies me. But I would imagine, for you, especially being a big guy, that's probably really fun.
oh
Um,
yeah,
and also, I didn't know you guys were the best in the nation. That is awesome. That is really cool,
yeah.
especially, like you said, on all four units. So, I mean, I think, that tells a lot about you and the rest of your team on how you guys are, as a unit.
Mhm.
Um, so I'll get back. I have a couple other fun questions here for you. One was, how cool is it to be in a video game, College Football 25? I mean, did you get to play with yourself, or do you not care that much, or was it really cool to like see yourself in the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was when it first came out. That was a really cool thing. I mean, I had people texting me, like sending me videos. Hey, I'm using your guy, which was really cool. But I mean, I really didn't understand kind of like how important that was, until like I hadn't seen people for a while and go back in town, and like the first thing on their mind was like, yo, like you were in the new college football video game. Like I was playing with Miami and you were in, like people found that to be really cool. That's kind of when it clicked in my head, like that is pretty cool. Like I'm in a video game. Like I never really thought of it, and that put too much thought into it. And yeah, I mean, I played a couple weeks when it first came out, and would use Miami, sub me in and try and boost my ratings and whatnot. And yeah, it was fun. So yeah, it was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, no, I would imagine and I think it's cool because for all these, or college football athletes now, we'll see if they bring back basketball eventually, but it's cool because, you would used to think, oh, you got to make it to the league to be able to get in the game. But now it's like, it's cool. There's so many people that are getting a shot and everything. So, well, that's awesome. You'll get to, we got college football 26 coming out soon too. So maybe they need to boost your ratings. We'll have to compare from last year because your ratings, I don't know what they were, but they should be boosted because of the year you had
That's what
last
I'm
year.
hoping for. Maybe like a low to mid 70s this year would be nice. So we'll see.
Nice and modest. That was my next question of where do you think you should be rated at? So,
Yeah, probably 75, 76, 77, somewhere in there would be cool.
yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, well, that's all. We'll have to check that out, and we'll if it's if it's not as high, we can send some complaints to EA.
There we
Um,
go.
so one thing like I said I have to ask you is did you get to meet Snoop Dogg? I know you guys were your bowl game was the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, if I remember right.
Yep.
You guys took home the dub. I mean, how was that experience? First off, obviously getting to go out to Arizona at that point of the year probably was awesome in and of itself. But
Yeah.
yeah, how was that whole experience?
Yeah, I kind of have a funny stories from that week. First of all, that was probably the most fun I've had playing football in a while. That bowl did a great job, and obviously we came out with the win, and won by 30, so that played a factor into it. But I was I kind of have a routine I go through on game day. I'm a little superstitious, so I'm going through my routine. Get to the point where it's about time, head to the training room, get all taped up. And just as the trainer starts taping my ankles, someone comes in and is like, "Snoop Dogg's in the locker room right now," and I'm mid ankle tape. And like I can't stop this right now. And I'm telling the trainer like, let's let's hurry this up. Like I'm trying to, go see what Snoop Dogg has to say in the locker room. So trainer's doing the best he can. A couple minutes go by. I go back in the locker room, and as soon as I walk in, the only thing I can see of Snoop is him heading for the exit and leaving. So I missed him completely, like giving a little talk to the team before the game, but kind of redeemed myself. So all week long, I was thinking, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, like if I make a play, I got to have some type of like celebration, in my bag, like to pull out, like something Snoop related. So I was kind of thinking like, what's a Snoop Dogg thing? Like what's he known for? And I thought back to one of his music videos. He hits like the little low rider dance or whatever you want to call it. And I was thinking in my head all week, I was like, you know what? If I make a play, like I'm gonna try and find him because I know he's gonna be probably somewhere along the field or maybe up in the booth, but I'm gonna try and hit that celebration. And then, wouldn't you know, I'd end up getting a interception, playing DN, something, that doesn't happen too often. As soon as it happened, I was like, this is a perfect time to do it. And got up, look in the end zone, and I kind of see a glimpse of what I thought was Snoop, and it turns out it was him. So I run to that end zone, do his little dance, and that was a moment I'll never forget. I mean, the fact that all kind of went to plan that I had throughout the week, and got to hit Snoop's dance in front of him. And I went back once we flew back to Ohio, and I watched our tape of the game, and I went to there was a certain angle you could see of the end zone of me doing it right before the film cut off, and you could see for a second Snoop like recognized what I was doing and was doing it with me. And I was like, I mean, how cool is that? Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's a once in a lifetime, opportunity. So that bowl game was awesome, and a lot of fun memories from it for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That is an awesome story. I did not know that, and that's all. It's poetic because you miss him in the locker room, and
Yeah,
it's like you got to go out there and do it on the field. You got to earn the earn the Snoop interaction. That's awesome, dude.
absolutely. Yeah, that's something I'll never forget. So that was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so I got two more questions for you. For or second to last here, is there any like special hidden talents that you have that maybe a lot of people wouldn't know about, or maybe your close friends would know about, but the mass majority doesn't know about?
I don't really know about too many hidden talents. I mean, things outside of like football that I mean, I think I'm pretty good on the grill. I think maybe people close to me would I would hope would vouch for that. I mean, no one's really told me something coming off the grill from mine, and they've never really turned it away. So I think that's normally a good sign. Um, so yeah, maybe that for me. Love to grill and make things. So
Heck yeah. Well, hey, it's that good time of the year for it too. We've had some
absolutely.
nice hot days, so that goes hand in hand. Um, so the last question I have for you, is, for because I think you are exactly what a student athlete means. Like, obviously, you're academic, all MAC, you stayed at the school, everything. Do you have, a piece of advice for, kids in, the Dayton area or, that want to get to where you're at, you know, in your collegiate career right now?
Yeah, I mean, just advice I'd have is, do your best and do your best every single day, and that'll be enough. Like wake up every day with a purpose and a passion for something, whatever that might be. It could be football, basketball, it might not even be a sport, could, be into arts, music, whatever that might be, and just find something that you're passionate about and you believe in. And when you have goals in mind and dreams in mind and you put that into action, like they say, anything's possible. So that'd be my advice. Just keep getting after it, and bumps in the road, they're inevitable, but keep pushing and keep getting after it, and anything's possible.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Adam, thank you very much for, taking the time out of your day during your, I'm sure, what is still a busy off season, even though it's the off season. I'm sure you got a lot going on. So we very much appreciate it, and best of luck to you this season.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Appreciate you having me on.